We're approaching the time of year when people turn their focus on the holiday ritual of gift giving. If you're like me, I can always use some good suggestions. And fortunately, our guest today is here to help. When looking for a gift, remember what Mother Teresa once said. It's not how much we give, but how much love we put into giving. I'm Grace Trafton of The Better Part. Stay tuned. Dr. Tracy Wilen is the author of 11 books and a global speaker on the impact of technology on work, careers, and women's leadership. Her latest book, Employed for Life, 21st Century Career Trends, was recently released. Welcome, Tracy. Welcome back.
Thanks for having me, Grace.
Well, it's that time of year.
Yeah.
Is the holiday season one of your favorites during the year?
Oh, it is. It is. The lights, people are happier. It just seems to be a unique buzz in the air throughout the holiday season.
So let's start with some cool tech gifts for the holiday season. Now, Apple products are always very popular. What can you tell us about the Apple Watch and the latest iPhone?
Yeah, so I think iPads, the new iPhone S6, actually I have one of those. I have some friends who've gotten the iWatch or are hoping for an iWatch for Christmas. The iPhone 6 is kind of interesting because of the form factor. It's gotten much larger, which I like because I travel, so I can actually read on it and I can watch a movie on it. You also have the fingerprint security system, so instead of remembering a code, you can touch it. And for people who like to use mobile wallets now, you know, whether it's for your Starbucks cards or iPay, a lot of the feature sets are on the iPhone. But I also enjoyed the iPhone 5, so, you know, but I think it's just, you know, personal preference. It's also thinner, but a lot of guys say it doesn't really fit in your pants pockets as well. And then the iPad is, you know, the iPad. And also on all of the products, the camera quality has gotten much better. So a lot of people really like that. The iWatch is interesting. I'm not ready to buy one yet. I have colleagues, both male and female, who have it. They use it for email alerts. They talk into it, you know.
Just like Dick Tracy.
Yeah, Siri, and you can, you know, use it for a lot of. I think in business it could be convenient because you can look at your watch to see some things. But I think it needs more apps before it can really become more interesting to someone like myself.
So it doesn't have very many apps at the present time?
It has a couple, you know, you spin the dial and you can go through, and a lot of practical things like the email, the instant messaging, the texting, the phone, the alarms. But it's really when you start to see, you know, and of course you can do monitoring, you know, your running or your pedometer and things like that. But I don't know. I think it just needs a little more time.
So do your colleagues and friends who have an iWatch really like it, or what are their comments?
I think they did it for the cool factor. For me as a female, it's actually a very large footprint. So I tend to like smaller jewelry. So it's obvious that you're wearing it. I mean, you're going to see it because it's a big square on your wrist. So for me, I said to Apple, in the store, I said, gee, don't you have something a little more sophisticated or smaller for women? But then you really can't see the...
Can't see it, right.
So it's a little bit of a trade-off there. So I went for the iPhone 6S because that seemed to make a lot more sense to me.
Now, those products are fairly expensive. How about some inexpensive accessories that could be useful?
Sure. So I think earbuds. Earbuds, you know, everybody can use earbuds for all of their phones and devices. Headsets are taking on a life of their own. I'm expecting we're going to see a lot of unique headsets coming out over Christmas, very festive ones, feminine ones, sophisticated ones. But also remember the cases. Now, cases are very personal, so
That's
I think
true.
if someone has their eye on a certain kind of case that might be a little more pricey with some crystals or things like that, I think a case is. Or something very practical. So I travel a lot, and I unfortunately left my chargers. I always leave a charger in the last stop, so I actually have to buy them on the road. So I think having a good stash of charges would help someone.
Yeah, that would be very helpful.
And selfie sticks.
Yes.
So we had a selfie stick, and actually I left one on the road. So I think there's two kinds. There's the manual kind where you plug in the wire. Mm-hmm. That's actually easier, believe it or not, for a traveler because you can not always get the Wi-Fi. But they also have the Bluetooth ones. So you can have the selfie stick, and then you can just click it from your pocket. And I have a lot of colleagues who really like that. And then also these little tripods. I think they're really handy for a lot of these phones.
Yes.
So if you want to take a picture of yourself and not use a selfie stick, they have these little mini tripods now. You can put your smartphones in and then set it up and take a picture of yourself.
Oh, that's wonderful. And those gifts aren't very expensive.
No, actually you can just shove them in the stocking.
Right.
Yeah.
Stocking stuffers.
Yes.
So how about people who like to take photos and videos? Because I, for one, love to take photos.
Okay, so everyone's talking about the GoPro.
Right.
So the GoPro is you put on this, it's an action camera, and you can film in action everywhere. And I think that's a lot of fun. A lot of people just said, I want a GoPro. When I went out to the website, here's what's easy about it, is you can buy it by activity.
Oh.
So if someone is a bicycle rider, they have a kit. Or if someone is a mountain climber, they have a kit. So you don't even have to think about what to get. They sell it in kits. So I think a lot of people like the GoPro concept of mobile action camera. But, digital cameras are very popular. I mean, there's a lot of things that you can get for someone who likes to take video. Of course, you can do it on the phone.
Right.
So it's much more integrated now.
Right. Yeah, I didn't realize the GoPro had different applications for different sports.
Well, the worst thing is someone wants it, but you don't want to tell them that you're getting it.
Right.
So you go out, and at least you can find the activity, and I'm noticing in a lot of gifts now, instead of product by product and trying to put it together yourself, they're now creating these concept packages.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Now, another thing that people are focusing on these days is fitness and health.
Yeah.
And so what are some gifts possibilities for these people, and should be for all of us?
Well, the whole area of wearable technology is really taking off. Some safe bets, of course, is the Fitbit. So, these are things that monitor your action. So it's not even a pedometer, monitors your sleeping, your calories. They're getting quite integrated. So GPS watches, even Garmin has one now, so you can monitor your activity on a bike and walking, and also have it as a watch. But the one I was interested in was actually Move, which is, because it's waterproof. So if you're a swimmer, you can actually monitor not only on the land, but also in the pool. So it's, water resistant and dust resistant. So I think people are getting very interested in seeing how many calories am I burning, how much energy am I using, am I sleeping well? And it's a whole health and fitness boom around wearable technology. So that could be a lot of fun.
So does the Move measure your calories? What is it measuring exactly?
So it's more of these whole wearable technology measuring a number of things. So it can be calories, activity, outdoor, indoor, underwater. And it's just, as you can see, more and more features are built into it. So you can really get a whole profile on yourself and measure and improve your own fitness and health.
That should be very helpful.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of fun. I think a lot of people are very interested in not just how many steps did I walk, did I really, am I breathing well, am I sleeping well, am I burning off calories?
Yeah, the heart rate and everything.
Yeah.
So another very popular thing are audio gifts, because there are so many music lovers around. What can you suggest for audio?
So on a basic level, the headsets, and I'm telling you, from Dree Beats to a lot of these more sophisticated headsets, and you can even buy them, interesting enough, in the airports now. So, and even in the iPhone type of shops, I'm seeing, and in the department stores, a number of different headsets. So they're becoming as personalized as your phones. The earbuds have gotten very sophisticated, but now also speakers. Speakers are, you can get very, hidden ones to very glamorous ones. So I think speakers and stereo systems, there's a lot of items that are out in the audio market for people. And I would say, closer to Christmas, start to see what people are promoting or new things that are coming out, because a lot of technology comes out just in time for Christmas.
Right.
And I read that Amazon is actually pumping up their Christmas help so that they can make sure you get your products same day or Christmas Eve. So I think you're going to see a lot of exciting technologies coming out around Christmas.
That should be exciting. Amazon had also talked about using drones to deliver packages. Whatever happened to that idea?
Oh, so drones are big for games. So I think if you're a hobbyist or you're interested in drones, I think we're going to see a lot coming out in time for Christmas. Yes, this whole drone concept, but the FAA has to get involved with the delivery drones so that you don't get into the airspace.
Right.
But on a gaming level, if you walk into a lot of the shops, you'll see that they're promoting drones for Christmas as, sort of the toy thing.
So what other possibilities are there for the gaming enthusiast?
Well, of course, the Xbox, we're going to have a lot of games. I'm sure they're going to be promoting the hottest game. But also, look at things like Legos. It's kind of fun to see that Legos is completely revamped. A lot of this, I think, is due to the makers movement, which is where we have kids in the classroom actually using electronics and building things. And Lego has really gotten on board with that. I mean, you can make robots now out of Legos, locomotives. There's a lot of electronics. So I would look at some of these games that are encouraging kids to actually touch the technology. So it's not just a game, but it's also integrating some learning into it.
That's really a good idea, because so many of the kids nowadays just play the electronic games on their screen rather than touching something.
Yes, and I think as a parent, you can go out now and look for electronic games that include learning. I mean, Leapfrog used to be the one.
Right.
But, I think it's getting kids involved with electronics, but also learning at the same time.
Now, how about some tech gifts for the home?
Yeah, so I have colleagues of mine who actually just got Nest, and they really love it. So that's a thermostat system that you can control from your iPhone. I have other colleagues who travel a lot, and they got the whole security system. And they're pretty easy to set up now, integrated webcams. You can put them on your front door, you can put them on your backyard, you can put them on the garage, and you can monitor motion and security systems right from your iPhone. So I think a lot of that is becoming more interesting to people who are on the go a lot, and also baby monitoring types of cameras and things for the home. And of course the Roomba. We talked about that in the past, where you can get a lot of home devices, or even, automated brewing coffee pots, that the coffee's ready when you wake up. And all of this now can be controlled by an app, which is pretty exciting.
That is exciting and very, very practical. A lot of those gifts are practical.
Very practical.
In previous shows, we talked about retirement and a number of related topics. Let's talk about some practical gift ideas for retirees other than the dreaded scarf, which may likely never be worn.
Grace, I think it's really important, and particularly for retirees, that we start to think about being practical because, let's face it, a lot of people are income restricted or have needs that they don't really want to talk about. And I think this is where, to your point, you can actually give a lot of love if you try to anticipate some things that people would truly enjoy. With that said, one of the most interesting gifts that I have given that some retirees have really appreciated is this New York Times birthday book. Yeah, and I gave it to my father. It was very interesting. He was born on November 11th, so I gave it for his 80th birthday. I also gave it to a neighbor on their 95th birthday who happened to be born on Christmas, and that was just unique. But what it does is it's the front page of the newspaper of every year that you from your birthday.
Oh my goodness.
It is so you basically get this gorgeous binder which is engraved with your birth date on it and your name, and it has the news. So
the front page of the news.
The front page of the news with the date and the birthday going back. Now it's interesting because the New York Times even says they skipped a couple of years, but it's incredible. And then they give you extra pages so that the individual can continue to put in the front page of every newspaper coming forward. So I think that's one of the most memorable gifts. People just sat there and just read their entire life go by, right?
That sounds fantastic.
Yeah, it's a real tearjerker.
Yes.
And I think the older you are, the more interesting it is, and touching it is. If you can't afford that, then, even things like calendars with your kids and grandkids, mugs, mix books, you can even do electronic books today and do the kind of memory mixes. So I think a lot of the, memories through time, photographs, scrapbooks, things like that, so that's on the memory side, and it's really appreciated.
So those can be called special moments gifts, right?
Yes, I call it special moments, special memories, because it's the time where you remember things, special times, or people in your lives, even if it's just framing the family photo or taking a family photo. I mean, that meant a lot to my parents when we actually got together, when we all did Christmas hats and we took a family photo and our funky Christmas sweaters, and that had a lot of meaning to them, a lot of love.
Those are really, really good gifts, I think. And even for younger people, too, not just for grandparents and parents.
Yes, yes. So I think it's all about the personal touch.
Right, right. Now, how about people who love to read?
Reading is a big one. So actually, again, with both my family and my in-laws, they are big readers. On my mother-in-law's side, I get her People magazine subscriptions and different magazines that I know that she'll like to read. And again, it's the gift that keeps giving because it comes either every week or every month, and they remember to give it to them. On my mother's side, she's a real book reader, so I do Book of the Month Club for her. I've also loaded a Kindle for her.
Oh.
She's not as comfortable with technology as I am, but I found that if I give her the Kindle or an iPad, load it with movies, load it with books, and go over and remind her how to use the swipe, because swipe is very new for her, how to read it. She really enjoys how we can shift the fonts so that it can become larger or smaller. So I think there's a lot of opportunities, even if you just give someone who's familiar with Kindles and apps, Amazon gift cards or different kind of gift cards so they can download the books themselves.
That's a great idea. Great idea. And that will get an older person, perhaps, who's not used to technology, a little bit more comfortable with technology.
Yes, I think it started when she was on the road, and then also when she had some hospital stays that she ran out of books. So then I came over with the technology, and we sat together. We started with Scrabble, quite frankly, because that's her favorite game, and I showed her how we could do Scrabble on the device, and then we moved into books, and then, and then I left her, and then she found that she could read the whole book, and it was kind of fun for her.
Oh, I bet it was. Now, there are shoppers and shopaholics around. So what are some gift ideas for those who really, really enjoy shopping?
So this was interesting, an idea that came from my mother-in-law. She actually likes QVC. Many of us think of Amazon because that's the sort of the big shopping that came out in our generation. But she likes QVC. She used to call in. So she said, give people QVC cards. Because people like herself, that's sort of the mode. They watch it on TV. They like to make the phone call. Now a lot of it gives you free delivery. And it's very clever, but you can get Amazon cards, you can get Walmart cards, you can get Macy's cards. So think about where people shop and then give the gift card that sort of maps to their special interests. And I wouldn't forget about hobbies. A lot of people have unique hobbies, whether it's painting, photography, baking. So you can actually get gift cards to the different stores where they actually buy their hobby supplies.
Right.
So it's a little more customized to what they like to do.
Yeah, that's a really good idea, I think. So how about practical gifts that we can give people to assist them within the home? I think you touched on this before, but are there any other things that you can tell us about the home?
Yeah, so actually for both my parents and my in-laws, interesting enough, they've always done their own cleaning. They've done all their own services, and there comes a point where everyone needs a little extra help. So I actually organized for both of them to have cleaning SWAT teams come in. And at first they resisted, but actually they love it now. So for every month now, I give the gift of cleaning services. And in some of these, they can do other activities as well, including the laundry, dog walking services. And I will mention that some people like to get animals for Christmas.
Oh.
But I think you have to be really careful about giving someone a pet and make sure that they can take care of it and they truly want it.
Exactly.
And bundle it with the services that you need.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Pet food, vet services, and grooming services. And I actually do have neighbors with pets, and they actually said what would help them out a lot is to bring the groomers to them. Because it can be pretty cumbersome to try to get the pet in the car
Right.
or in the carrier
Right,
to bring
right.
them to the groomer. So now the grooming services, and there's plenty out there today.
So these personal services can be a treat for almost anyone of any age, right?
Oh, sure, because it's just really offloading the activity from the individual having to think about it to giving them a bundle of services that they would have to pay for anyway, but you're almost helping them curb the cost. And you're showing them that you actually understand that they have this pet or they have this home, you know, where they need some extra services, and people just appreciate it.
Right. I bet they do. Hopefully they will.
Landscaping is another one.
Yes,
you know, if
definitely.
You know, people come in and water your plants, you know, help you with your home services.
Now, for